Hey everybody, it is Quicken and welcome back to Tattoo Talk Tuesday. If you are new here, Tattoo Talk Tuesday is our weekly interactive talk show where I take viewers submitted questions and try to lend my experience to you guys as a tattoo collector. So today's episode is just going to be me talking about the ninth session I've had on my back tattoo. I really lost track, so 9th could be absolutely wrong. But if you're like, hey, I thought you made a video about your back tattoo being finished, what's up with this? This last year I've been working on finishing the bottom part of my back, which I decided I wanted a complete top to bottom back piece that ends right above the end of my spine, top of my butt. Honestly, my last session was in November, so it's been a little while and I have reluctantly been putting it off. Timing and expenses and things like that. My goal was to actually start getting tattooed again this November. I actually got a phone call from the tattoo shop encouraging me to come in sooner. So I thought I would just quickly talk a little bit about my experience, as this was kind of a unique experience this last time, aka yesterday. And if you're new to my channel, I do travel to New York to get my tattoos, which is about a 2-hour plus ride on public transit for me. So I do travel 4 hours and some change to get this tattoo. So I will talk a little bit about that experience as well. But yesterday I had my middle, center, lower part of my back. And this was a unique experience because I had to lay in a very specific position that I'm not used, nobody's really used to being in this position. So my legs kept falling asleep, as well as just the general and powerful discomfort of having your spine tattooed. To prepare to have my back tattooed, yesterday I got on the bus in the morning and I had an iced coffee because I thought it would be a little less coffee because it's mostly ice. I don't like to drink a coffee right before I get tattooed anymore, just because I start to I don't know if it increases my nervousness or ability to control a lot of my body movements, little spasms you might have while you're getting tattooed. So I tried to minimize that. So I got a coffee, mixed most of it with milk. So I wanted the center of my back tattooed just because we are working with an asymmetrical design for the bottom of my tattoo. I have some previous work that prevents us from having a straight symmetrical, you could fold it in half and it would be a mirror image tattoo on my back. So we are working around a couple of things, and my tattoo comes to a point, the existing tattoo, almost like the bottom of a heart. So just getting everything in there, has been a little bit of a style challenge. So we were going to put a butterfly in there, and actually I read a comment from one of you guys that said that you should get a moth. And I thought that that would be super sick because I do have a Mark Cross butterfly already. I thought a Cosmia moth would be on brand. So we looked at some flash in the shop and Mark created this custom moth that looks, just like a Mark Cross butterfly, but it's a moth to me. We made it really fuzzy. Mark Cross, my tattoo artist, he's really, really great about me using numbing cream. So yesterday I actually brought the Zenza numbing cream. I used this before. It's a Canadian product. It is 0.5, or it's 5% lidocaine, which is 2% more than the stuff they had at the shop already, which is a spray stuff. It has a green lid. You guys might be familiar with it. And it seems very medical because you have to push down the cap to open it. Child safe. To get your back tattooed is just very painful. While we were hanging out, getting everything done, Mark put some of that on my back and then put some cellophane over it so the skin could absorb it as much as possible, and then we got started. So I was positioned on the tattoo table, almost I believe yoga. I think it's I don't know. It's kind of just you're laid all the way out, almost into a bow, and my feet hung over the table. This was so my back would be completely stretched. You run into this, I was just talking to Valonius about this, how he has a mushroom, a 1-up mushroom tattoo, but it's stretched just because how he got the tattoo, his body wasn't manipulated, I guess, correctly. So I had to be completely stretched for this tattoo to work, and then when I would be natural, unstretched, the tattoo is perfect. Happy to comply, I laid on the table that way, and the tattoo is much bigger, completely stretched obviously, than it is in resting position. I will say that. I will admit it's a pretty small tattoo. I'm happy to have a small tattoo that isn't very complex in a spot on my body that was pretty hard to tolerate. I would say all the sensitivity of having your back tattooed is heightened because it's a really sensitive spot. The tattoo is painful and you're completely stretched. You're vulnerable because you're feeling like you're in an uncomfortable position, and my legs kept falling asleep. So we took about 3 breaks for me to just walk around, and my legs were so asleep that from the crouch position, I would almost just like climb like for my life to lay flat on the table until the pins and needles like took over in my legs and then got to a point where I could walk. But it felt like I was walking on like one of those toys with all the needles that you like push your hand in. It felt like that. An interesting experience. The tattoo hurt, and obviously your legs falling asleep and like you couldn't control that hurt too, but it was a pleasant distraction because I was like, man, this tattoo hurts and my legs are pooling with blood. But it was one of the shortest sessions I've ever had on my back, one of the easiest by far, although more painful I would say than the shoulders or anything like that because of the positioning, and you know, you're bent all the way over and just like receiving this needle to the spine. Knowing that it would be quick was such a relief. Like when Julian like printed the stencil and it came out and I saw that it was only this big, I was so happy. To the tattoo appointment, I'll share some of the things I wore. As a first layer, I wore just like a comfortable bra, you know, not any like structure to it at all, just like a bralette kind of thing. And I didn't wear a halter. I was able to wear straps because we were just doing the lower part of my back, which is nice. I'm actually like completely over the halter top bra that I generally wear to my tattoo appointments. I'll have to whip that baby out probably for one of our final appointments because we are going to like detail and balance everything for the last appointment with my full back. So I'm not looking forward to that at all. So lately for my tattoo appointments, I've been wearing an undershirt, and the undershirt is great because whatever happens to it is fine. I can kind of like pull it up and over, and you might see in the photo, it kind of looks like I have a bandana on, but I kind of just pull this all the way up when I'm not wearing it, so it's just around my neck. That way it kind of like helps to cover my chest a little more as well while I'm in the tattoo shop. That's just like kind of security for me. Rose Tattoo is a popular shop, and like Mark Cross is a popular guy, so people come in a lot and just like say what's up, and I just feel like if I was laying there and my boob was out by accident, at least like this may cover it as well. Like, you know, Mark's cool though. He'd be like, your shit is out. So another reason why I wear the undershirt is it catches a lot of the blood from the healing. You can't really see it because it's dark gray, which means like I can just throw this in the wash, but you can see some blood that, or ink or whatever, that transferred during my ride back to Philadelphia. So it's good that it catches. So Mark puts 2 like medical bandages, and they're almost like big maxi pads. So he puts those on, and they did catch a lot of the stuff. When I came home, they were pretty saturated and I took them off. I wore this shirt over top, which is kind of just like a loose, like a big t-shirt. And just like from further examining, some blood and ink did transfer through the pads, through the undershirt, and onto my main shirt, which is kind of a bummer. I do like this shirt, but it is a Carhartt shirt, so it's like kind of a work shirt, which is why I'm wearing this like loose, comfortable shirt today. I've only been wearing it for like a few hours, 3 hours, and it has already transferred a lot of the ink onto the shirt as well. And then as my pants, you may have seen me wear these. They're kind of just like a comfortable drawstring, just something nice and chill that during the tattoo, like if Mark needs like pull them down like another like inch or whatever, like it's easy, and I can just whoop, slip them right back up if I need to, and tuck all my shirts into them to just like hold everything in place. That I feel really comfortable in that wardrobe. Yesterday was really great weather, still breezy. I was able to wear a hoodie. If I can, I would like to avoid getting tattooed again in the summer, just because New York's summers are notoriously hot, and I just think that'll be pretty uncomfortable with like a wet tattoo. So I asked you guys on Twitter if you had anything you wanted to ask me, and someone said, how do you sit through that shit? Mark is great. Like, he'll ask if I need breaks and stuff, and like I said yesterday, yes, it was painful, but a lot of the breaks I needed were just because my legs were so numb sitting like that. And you could almost like, you were like thinking in your mind like, all right, I can probably only sit like this for 10 more minutes before like my legs are unbearably numb. I noticed you had a new numbing cream. Does that one work better? I would say it's hard for me to truly tell because that spot was going to be uniquely painful no matter what. It was nice to have, but I can't even say how well it worked because it's a notoriously painful spot. So I don't think if it took the edge off, I'm happy because I was able to tolerate it. Is there anything you would have done differently or had done differently from your first session versus later sessions? I would say there's not much I would do differently, but my confidence and my comfort does increase like every time I go. So I just like feel more comfortable getting them now than from my first session. I also feel a lot more chill about everything that's happening. Like, I'm chill about the progress and how long it's taking. Whereas my first couple sessions, I just like wanted it to be done. And now I'm just like more comfortable with the process. How do you moisturize your back tattoo? I can kind of reach it, honestly. I'm not like super flexible, but if I can get my arm to here, I can push my arm even further back. Which generally in a windshield wiper motion, I can kind of get everywhere. But that's just me. Tips for healing a tattoo that's hard to reach like that. While I am healing this part in particular, like last night, I washed my tattoo, and generally for my back tattoo, I would sleep in the wrapping the first night and then wash it the next morning. This one is small, so I just feel like I can manage it, and it's on my lower back, which I can pretty successfully reach. I'm not going to be wrapping it every night. I'm just going to be wearing a clean t-shirt, clean sheets, sleeping on my side, and then rinsing it off every morning, and that's just how I'm gonna roll. Hope it wasn't too bad. I wanted to ask you about working on your back tattoo as if they were separate pieces. Do you think it's made it a lot easier, healing, getting used to it? I think you approach this way because of your shark tattoo, but anyways. Yeah, so we broke my tattoo up into pieces. I do have existing tattoos that we've been working around, which has been cool. Like traditional tattoos go, you can approach it this way, which is great. I think if I just had one giant back piece, like, sorry, there's always cat hair in my eye. I think, you know, one giant back piece would be super chill. And that's kind of like the meat of my back tattoo is just one giant piece. But working on these smaller pieces has been really cool. You know, you're paying for just like one tattoo at a time, which is great. You're healing one tattoo at a time, going to New York for just one tattoo. Like, for me, it really works and I really like it. And I think the final result will be exactly what I like in a tattoo. Having the style of traditional lends itself to this process, so I think it's going to look really good, but for me, it really works for me. Any differences in your process or pain levels from the first session? How have you evolved since your first session? So I would say the tattoo I got yesterday was pretty small, so I was able to just like digest it in one session, but I'm a lot more confident. And I think Mark understands like my threshold a little bit better too. Like, my previous 2 sessions were the roses that go around my back and then the color for the roses. So we split that up into 2 sessions. And I think Mark understands like Amanda will sit on the table for 2 hours. So it's cool. I feel like we reached the 2 hours and I don't feel like I'm wimping out, and I don't feel like I've wasted his time anymore, because I do feel really guilty all the time. Knowing that I'm just gonna sit for 2 hours and Mark's okay with it and Mark will call it, like, makes me feel almost like it like tricks me into having more endurance. But he will also let me know like, today you have to sit for 6 hours, and I'm like, okay. How long did it take for you to find a solid design to add to a basically already completed back piece? So I went to New York once for a consultation and I didn't get a tattoo at all, and we kind of just like drew something up and we were just like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, and then like left it at that. Then when I made my next appointment, we kind of just like had that consultation all over again and made it real. And I would say every time I go, we sit down and think about what to do next. And although we have the groundwork of that initial consultation, every time I go, we still sit down and rethink things like on the spot. Every tattoo session we sit down and kind of plan out our next steps. There's no overall plan. I could answer this like we've been planning it for a year, or I could answer it like for a half hour before each session we kind of just talk it out. So I got a question that was like, did you notice a difference while being tattooed on your period? I saw you tweet about that. If you guys want me to talk about that directly, I would love to, so let me know if that's something you're interested in. Do you feel self-conscious about having an incomplete tattoo on your body? And that'll be the last question I answer. I don't, like I said, like it would be so cool if I could just like show up to the river spot with like a full back piece this year, because I do feel like it's some crazy endurance test I put my body through that I can publicly display. So there is that, but I like going to the shop. It's kind of like the ladies who get their hair done like once a month. Like I like going to the shop and getting something done and going to New York. I get really stressed out right like the days before, because it's hard because you're like, I know I'm doing a thing that hurts that's completely optional and expensive, but I like seeing everybody at Rose. I love being there, and I love like being a part of this club. Those things, you know, conflict, but they like just generally give me a feeling of satisfaction, so I'm happy with the process. Right now to heal, I'm just wearing like a loose t-shirt and some joggers and these like great socks. One of you guys sent me at my P.O. box. I love these. And I'm just gonna take it easy for the rest of the day and drink water and hang out. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions that you would love to see in maybe like a dedicated Q&A, I'd love to do that for you either here or on my second channel. And thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you would love more in depth about the process, I have created a playlist that is like all of my back tattoo videos. If you guys are planning to get your back tattoo, or you know, a big part of your body, I think that a lot of the like sessions and planning could apply to like a big stomach or chest piece too, or thigh piece. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you are here for it, and until next time.